Hey Balmassize. This isn't really so much of a response to your Why Men video, but actually kind of a response to a couple of your videos. Now, in all honesty, my initial reaction upon watching a few of your videos was somewhere along the lines of,
I'd like to croak that bitch.
but then I noticed how many people basically already have. It would really be kind of redundant of me to jump on that bandwagon. I also caught this.
I suffer with clinical depression.
Well, hey, join the club. I know it can be tough, but I also know how to beat it. Anyway, let's get right to brass tacks. Instead of disparaging your character, I'm going to try to make this criticism quick, clean, and constructive. I understand that you are a cultural relativist, which is basically the position that no culture is in any way better than any other. To demonstrate just how fundamentally flawed this notion is, I will now discredit it in 30 seconds. Starting the clock now. What you should understand about cultural relativism is that it is a uniquely Western cultural concept. Therefore, by its very own rules, it is no better than the, shall we say, non-Western notion that some cultures are better than others. It is a self-contradicting ideology by its very nature. Plus, it also completely ignores the basic reality that every culture throughout the world has been influenced by another at some point in its history. Cultures do change after being exposed to better, yes, better, ideas. Look, I even got time to spare. The funny thing is, the idea that some cultural ideas and morals are better than others is ironically one of the few things that most of humanity can actually agree upon. It's just a matter of figuring out which ones actually are. Most people tend to think theirs is the best, but maybe it's time we all worked out a method. War just doesn't seem to be cutting it. Your adherence to cultural relativism, though, is the biggest flaw in your entire set of beliefs, and it really does contribute greatly in making you such a ponage magnet. Its contradictory nature makes it the type of shit that gives scumbags like the BNP a leg to stand on. You'd do well to scrap it. Just saying. By the way, I just wanted to address this.
When you've seen the best the mental health institution has to offer, and you know that they don't have any answers, and it's entirely down to you, and you know that you can't help yourself, and you know that all you need would be the love and support of the people around you, and you don't have it, what the fuck are you supposed to do? Carry on living a painful life, that's what you can do.
Well, you're right about one thing. Shrinks don't have the answers. As much as I disagree with your political and social views, I do understand where you're coming from on this subject. I've dealt with and managed to overcome a lot of these same problems that you frequently talk about, and I think I may have a few personal tips that you won't hear from any psychiatrist. They have proven to be quite effective, at least for me. One way goes a little something like this. Picture your depression as an actual person. Now this guy will say and do everything he possibly can to torment you and make you feel like a worthless waste of life who could best serve the world by lying down on railroad tracks. But then consider something else. There just so happens to be an actual real-life job with that very description.
5'9", I didn't know they stacked shit that high. Looks to me like the best part of you ran down the crack of your mama's ass and ended up as the brown stain on the mattress. You're so ugly you could be a modern art masterpiece. Here you are all equally worthless. Did your parents have any children that lived?
Sir, yes, sir.
I bet they regret that. You are cute. You are the lowest form of life on earth. You are not even human fucking beings. You are nothing but unorganized, grabastic pieces of amphibian shit.
It is quite literally the job of a drill sergeant to take any sense of pride and self-worth he can find in his cadets and stomp it into the ground with a jackboot. The reason he does this is so that you'll work harder to prove him wrong. If you think of your depression as a mechanism that performs a similar function in your day-to-day life, then you can effectively have it serve as a motivation to find something to be happy about. This is one method that I utilize to handle my own depression. It allows you to use your own accomplishments in life to make that malevolent voice all the more irrelevant. This way, when you start hearing it again, you can flaunt your victories right in its face and say,
What do you think about that? Ha!
Now you may think I'm off my hinges with this, but I'm not the only one who views depression as something that can potentially motivate a person in a positive direction. I have posted a link in the description bar to an article at scientificamerican.com which makes a strong case for depression being a positive evolutionary trait for problem-solving purposes. Of course, this does require you to have something to be proud of. My approach to this is academic and career pursuit, but another way you can go about it is to try to help someone else with their problems. Not only will this help to distract you from your own emotional issues, but it will also give you a sense of purpose and a sense of being needed. Other than that, there's always simply having a sense of humor. Forget about what makes you happy. Think about what makes you laugh. Then you'll be happy. Anyway, I'm going to wrap this up. Take care.